In this video, we are going to talk about 10 truths about money that banks don't want you to know. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Whether you're spending or saving money, banks use a variety of devious tactics to extract as much money as possible from you. When you use your debit or credit card to make a purchase, the shop receives a fee for completing the transaction. The majority of that fee goes back to your bank, so even if you're spending your own money, the bank benefits. Some banks will reorder your purchases from highest to lowest value within a day. That means if you get overdrawn and your bank charges a fee for each transaction you make while overdrawn, you'll wind up paying extra fees. Here are the 10 truths about money that banks don't want you to know. So let's start. Number 10. Banks suck. Never work for a bank and never join a bank as a customer. Instead, join credit unions. Some of America's most well-known banks are scams. Banks have stockholders and so one purpose in existence: to enrich Mr. Stockholder. You work hard, they get rich. Some more benevolent banks reward staff with bonuses, but most, and this pains me to say, reward with jobs. Employees who don't sell a particular quantity are fired. I've seen 3-year-olds fired for missing quota by 1 month. Not to worry. Why should they when they can hire someone else in days? Like Winco, a credit union is employee-based. You receive a cut. That's dividends. You gain interest on your checking and savings. You profit when they do. No top stockholder is raking in all that wealth. It's shared among employees, and you are equal. Credit unions also like to pay monthly, non-performance-based bonuses, so you can be polite, even honest, and still be paid. Credit unions care about people. Because people own credit unions and the NCUA protects them better than banks. Your accounts are guaranteed up to $250,000 by NCUA if the credit union goes belly up. While the coverage is the same, there is additional red tape to navigate if banks do this. Number 9. Banks push overdraft fees. Overdraft costs. I've seen up to $600 in overdraft fees on a $20 overdraft. Banks help it. Their policies literally encourage it. I recall a concerned customer entering US Bank, the world's worst bank. According to him, the ATM didn't tell him his amount until after he got the cash. Red flag number 1, it offered him cash even though he was overdrawn. Notification of balance came after he withdrawn money. You think the bank doesn't put it up? He frantically told me to return the money to his account. He didn't want to overdraw because the cost was $40. Just put it back, he kept begging. Will I be charged for this? No one could promise he wouldn't. No manager would easily comment. I went back the next day. There was an overdraft fee and he wasn't paid for 3 days. Tell me something. Some banks charge you per day you're in the red. This man lost $120 in 3 minutes. I felt enraged, but helpless. I asked my manager about the expenses. He didn't know yet, but I knew he would. We don't waive fees because you're new, the manager stated. We actually enjoy their overdrafts. Still naive. I didn't get it at the time, but I did subsequently. There are so many large frauds going on that I had to resign due to morals. Never use US Bank. Number 8. Most banks are not robbed as much as the average person believes. Yes, I've known people who have been kidnapped and stuffed into vaults, and yes, it does happen. In all banks and credit unions, however, there is an incredible level of security, and we are trained exactly how to prevent it and what to do in each circumstance. There are certain things that tellers do when they are being robbed in order to contact authorities immediately. We know when and where robberies are most likely to occur, what most robbers do, act like, and how to catch them while they are still inside the bank. The training is tedious and lengthy, and there are examinations to pass before you can even get on the floor. Anyone who robs a bank, in my opinion, is simply seeking for a quick way out of jail. Number 7. Tellers do not verify cash. It's something I hear all the time when I'm checking people's cash when I'm selling stuff on Craigslist. It's fine, I picked it up at the bank. Do you honestly believe bankers have enough time to go through each and every bill that comes in? No. We only checked bills if something seemed out of the ordinary, and the longer you work in banking, the more you get to know a bill like the back of your hand. You can tell what denomination it is by smelling it. As a result, it is your responsibility as a client to examine the invoices at the counter. Even with all the cameras, they won't do anything until you leave the teller counter. Similarly, any bill with at least 3/4 of the bill intact, whether taped together or cleaned in the washing, is legal. Anything less than 3/4 of a cup will be rejected. It used to be 1/2, but there was a lot of fraud back then. Number 6. Never ever give your check to someone you don't know. At a yard sale, on Craigslist, to a private party where you've just met someone, and so on and so forth. Once that individual gets your account number, they won't even need your routing number, which you can obtain by calling any bank in the country. Regardless of whether you have an account, the information is available to everyone. Once they obtain that number, they can use it to commit heinous crimes against humanity. It's simply not worth it. Number 5. Never wire money out of the country unless you know the person personally. Now, I would assume this is basic sense, but when I worked in banking, a lot of people seem to have lost their sense of common sense. Banks will not provide coverage in such circumstances. I have personally saw a woman lose $600 in a single transaction, and, strangely enough, she was employed by the bank. Number 4. Don't fall for the phishing scheme. Bank phishing scams are essentially a phone call, email, or text message informing you that your bank account has gone into overdraft or that you have received an important message and must log in immediately. You click on their site, they trace your information, they obtain your login details, and you find yourself, well, in a boat with no paddle. If you will, call it a sitting duck. If you receive such an email, log in using a different browser from the official site of your financial institution. There will be no tracking of your personal information as a result of this. Number 3. Check your accounts regularly. If you begin to notice a charge that is not yours, notify the appropriate authorities immediately. You have a 90-day window in which to file a complaint. If you report it within the set period of time, the bank has 48 hours, by law, to deposit all of the money into your account after it receives your notification. This is the part that no one tells you about. They will respond by saying, "We will look into it." Some people try to get out of it, but they have no choice because it is being audited by the government. In such situations, you are protected. Do not be alarmed. Number 2. At most financial institutions, they have some sort of bank check or teller check that is about $1. Some banks charge $3, although the majority only $1. Your bank will not tell you about this option if you require a cashier's check. They will not offer such information unless you know it when you come in. Remember, it's all about the cash. Cashier's checks can cost anything from $5 to $10 each item. A cashier's check is the same as a teller bank check. It comes with a guarantee of funds. The money is taken out immediately there and then. The only difference is that they aren't marked cashier's check. I've never seen a recipient firm give a damn if those words aren't on it. So, the next time you need a cashier's check, save some money by using teller bank checks. Number 1. Most of the fraud at financial institutions occurs in the night drop boxes and ATMs. Using an ATM or a night drop puts you at risk in 2 ways. First, it's the most robbable. Second, the transactions are frequently posted by one individual, with no accountability. I've seen things, that's all I can say, at several jobs. It has happened. What proof do you have if it does? You can prove checks. You can't. Don't risk it. P.S. A banker caught stealing gets fired. If is the key word. They usually hide the cash in a different part of the till so the cameras can view it. Then they take the cash out of the bank and put it on their person or in their purse. Most banks won't go through all that film unless there's a serious issue, and who's to say they weren't withdrawing cash and using it elsewhere? It's avoidable. Neither ATM nor night drop cash. Even if 2 people count it, you think people don't talk. Isn't it possible that both of them are crooks? I saw it. You can't tell since you lack proof. It's your word against theirs, usually a longtime boss who knows everything. You can't fight that. What do you think of our list? Which thing do you like from above list? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoy this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.